On the international scene, the UN Refugee Agency estimates more than 500,000 Syrians have returned home from neighboring countries since the fall of Bashar al-Assad in December. Of course, many thanks for joining us for RwandaTV News. I'm William Evans. Now the news in detail. The Speaker of the Chamber of Deputies, Honorable Kazarwa Getold, joined residents of Kayonza District in the community work Umuganda, which is marking the end of May. This particular Umuganda focus on cleaning a village where residents relocated by the government of Rwanda are being resettled after being moved from areas close to mining sites. We do have details. The community work took place in Rwimhavu sector, Hondo Cell, in a village housing people who formerly lived in mining zones. The initiative was well received by the new residents. Today, citizens are being considered as priority and we come first. That is why we participate in such activities. We have made a commitment to do general cleaning every Friday. Today we participated in general cleaning here. This place had less settlement, but it's slowly being occupied by different people. What made us happy is participating with our leaders. They also listen to our needs. Residents who are relocated from mining sites say they now feel safer and are more secure compared to before. We are very happy that we have been relocated to safer places now. We kept getting distracted by mining activities, but now that is no more. The Speaker of Parliament, Honorable Kazarwa Getold, urged citizens to place greater value in Umuganda. Umuganda is a platform to exchange ideas, but above all, one that promotes a cooperative culture among us all. This is for us to be courageous and also be self-reliant. You've heard that aid is not reliable, so this is a good opportunity for us to find in ourselves lasting solutions and resilience. In Hondo Cell, a total of 60 houses are planned for construction for the resettled families. As of now, 10 houses have been already handed over to their beneficiaries. Now, following the International Congress and Convention Association's ranking that placed Kigali in the second place and Rwanda on the third on the continent for hosting more international events, we earlier had a conversation with Mr. Manzi Christian, who is the Director of Destination Marketing at Rwanda Bureau, to shed more light on the significance of the ICCA ranking for Rwanda's global MICE profile and the potential impact of the ICCA Skills Hub they plan to launch very soon. Take a look. Now, just last week, the International Congress and Convention Association ranking released recently placed Kigali in the second position, but also Rwanda in the third position in Africa as a country that has, I think, held many of their meetings on the continent. According to the CEO of Rwanda Convention Bureau, this is her reaction, and I quote, she said that we are pleased to see Rwanda and Kigali continue to be recognized among African leading countries as leading destination association meetings. These results reflect the effort of various players across the event industry and the confidence international associations place in Rwanda as a preferred destination for hosting conferences and the event. These rankings inspire us to further enhance our support and offerings for global events. That is the CEO of Convention Bureau, Mrs. Karemera. And of course, to sort of have an understanding of what these rankings mean, one, for Rwanda, but also for the people that are in business, I am with a gentleman who is the Director Destination Marketing in Rwanda Convention Bureau, Mr. Manzi Christian. Most welcome to RwandaTV News.
Thank you, Will.
Yes. My very first question to you, I want to understand, of course, these amazing rankings. Kigali is coming second, and Rwanda is in the third. What do you make of such rankings?
First of all, I think it's important to understand what is ICA and how is it relevant to our industry. So ICA stands for the International Congress and Convention Association. It's a global network of more than 1,000 meetings professionals. So it brings together destinations like Rwanda, professional conference organizers, but most importantly, international event planners. And what is now this ranking, and how is it relevant to our destination? Now, the ranking is the annual ranking that lists countries and cities based on the number of international events that they have hosted. And the ranking is done per region. So you have North America, South America, Europe, Middle East, and Africa. And for Africa, in the past 5 years, Kigali has been ranked the second city after Cape Town in hosting international association conferences.
5 years, Kigali is being ranked second. At an international scale, what does this mean? How did you receive this? Or how do you actually keep receiving this information in terms of events and hosting them?
Thank you. The ranking is very, very important for our destination. Number one, it helps to position Rwanda as a serious, professional, and capable MICE destination. So when Kigali is ranked the second city in hosting international conferences, that plays a bigger role in terms of global visibility. Second, in terms of credibility, it provides trust to international association planners that Rwanda has the capacities and the capabilities in hosting international conferences. And also it's a motivation to our industry partners to go out and bring and bid for more international events.
Part of the things you shared in the press release was the plan to establish what you call the ICCA, because that is the International Congress and Convention Association Skills Hub. Bring us in on what this Skills Hub is about, when do you plan to begin, what will it be about?
Thank you. Last year, Rwanda Convention Bureau, in partnership with ICA and Rwanda Events, we signed a partnership for capacity building. So the ICA Skills Hub is mainly a regional training and international certification for the MICE players, especially in the region. Why is it important for us? Obviously, our plan is to attract more events, but we need to be ready when the events are already confirmed to the country. We need to have skilled labor who are ready to deliver events on the international standard. So really, the aim behind Rwanda being a hub of the ICA skills was mainly to build local capacity, our professional conference organizers, our hotels, our events, to gain international level skills and remain very, very competitive in the MICE industry. And also make Kigali a hub for not only for hosting events, but also a knowledge hub in terms of delivering world-class international events. So the certification has two components. The first component is for the entry level, those who've just started their careers or their experience in the MICE industry. And then the second component is for those who have been in the industry for more than 3 years. For the first one, which is actually starting in July, it's going to be for everyone who is interested to pursue their careers in the events industry, no requirement at all. And the second one in October is going to be targeting mainly the seniors who have been in the industry for more than 4 years. And as I said, really the overall objective is to train our workforce and deliver high quality service to meet the international standard.
Manzi, as we come to the end of this interview, you've heard that good is worse if better is possible, right?
Right.
Yes. So for 5 years, you're performing very well. Kigali is in the second place. Rwanda is in the third on the continent. If you can, we can pick your thoughts on the future.
Right.
The future, especially for the Rwanda Bureau, Convention Bureau. Do you have plans of probably becoming #1 next year or a few months to come?
Well, thank you. We all know that competition is really growing. We have seen many countries, especially from the West, coming to us, benchmarking with Kigali, really learning from what we have done. So our strategic positioning is maintaining what we have achieved, sustaining what we have achieved in the last 10 years, but most importantly, to position Rwanda as a leading hub for international conferences, not only for association conferences, but for exhibition, for sports events. We have the new stadium, which was inaugurated last year. We have Zaria Court. We have the BK Arena. So really our aim is to position Rwanda as a hub for international events in every aspect, in terms of association conferences, sports, exhibition, corporate events, and so on and so forth. Again, we want to position Rwanda mainly as a center for excellence in terms of delivering high quality services for the MICE industry. So that's really our projection. We are not going to do it alone. We have amazing partners. We have professional conference organizers. We have hotels. We have venues who are ready to embark on this journey together with Rwanda Convention Bureau in positioning Rwanda as a preferred MICE destination in Africa.
Many thanks. Of course, that is Manzi Christia, the Director Destination Marketing of Rwanda Bureau Convention. Thank you so much for allowing space and time to speak to us.
Thank you. Pleasure is mine. Thank you so much.
Now, the city of Kigali has given 24 hours to business operators in Gisozi North Industrial Area to remove all illegally constructed structures. And the directive follows a recent fire outbreak on Friday that was reported worsened by the presence of unplanned buildings, which hindered firefighting efforts. During Muganda activities, city authorities joined residents of Gisozi sector and urged those operating in the industrial zone to dismantle any structures built without approval or those blocking emergency vehicle access routes, especially the firefighting and rescue operations. The directive did not come as a surprise, as it had been communicated earlier. The Gisozi North Industrial Area is a hub for artisanal and small-scale industries, but it has experienced multiple fire incidents over time. The city of Kigali has pledged to take all necessary measures to prevent such incidents in the near future. Now, economic experts believe that both public and private institutions should intensify efforts to promote a culture of saving among their workers, as it is a key way to build a resilient economy and help the country transition from a low income to a high income status country. We do have a report. The recent FinScope 2024 report shows that the culture of saving is gradually increasing among Rwandans. Over 6.7 million people, about 80% of the population, were found to be saving in various ways. Those saving through the formal mechanism, formal saving, increased by 26% from 3.8 million, which is 54% in 2020, to 4.8 million, which is 59% in 2024. I got the experience from my workplace where they taught us about saving. Later, I pursued a course in finance, which also helped me understand saving better. I have been able to save and support my family of 12 children who are able to go to school, and I was also able to support other 50 children through school. Economic experts note that while saving is on the rise, it has not yet reached the desired level necessary for building a strong, stable economy, as explained by Dr. James Ndahiro. We encourage people to change their mindset to know that what they will need tomorrow must be planned today. By developing a culture of saving the little you are able to get, people should only eat after they've saved instead of saving after they've spent. Experts also emphasize that the habit of saving should start with every individual who earns an income, no matter how small, especially those with a regular salary. The Minister of Public Service and Labour, Ambassador Christine Nkulinka, says that there are existing initiatives to further encourage workers to embrace a saving culture. That is why we are now putting more effort into making sure that we support people to save. What we are able to save now is what indirectly comes back into our economy, and this helps us create more jobs. The government of Rwanda has introduced various programs to promote saving, including Ejo Heza, and strengthening existing channels such as financial institutions, banks, the capital market, and insurance companies. According to the second phase of the National Strategy for Transformation, NST2, the national saving rate is expected to rise from 12.4% of the GDP in 2023 to 25.9% by 2029. This growth in savings will support Rwanda's journey towards economic acceleration, enabling it to move from a low-income country to an upper-middle-income country by 2035 and eventually to a high-income country by 2050. Now, the city of Kigali has announced plans to construct over 1,500 housing units in Nyabisi Industrial Remera Sector, Gasabo District, as part of a broader initiative to improve urban settlement. The program will expand on other parts of Kigali as well. These will be multi-stored buildings meant to accommodate families who already own land in Nyabisindu, as well as those who will be relocated from various informal settlements across the city. The model follows an example of the Mhazi model settlement, which provided over 700 housing units. In addition, more than 150 housing units are under construction in Gahanga sector under the Girinzu program. These homes will be available for purchase or on installment-based payment plans. The city's long-term vision is to ensure that Kigali is filled with modern, fully equipped residential buildings that are also affordable to tenants.
The housing program is an initiative, actually it is an innovation, whereby the city engages local communities in informal settlements, and we agree on an in-kind compensation whereby they get apartments, units within the project, and then we can build high-rise, which helps us to secure more units to give to other people who can use them for rent to own, or other facilities that can be provided. So we have successfully completed a project in Mhazi, Gitega sector, Nyarugenge districts, of 688 units, which is adding to other 300 units that we had built before. And this project has actually proven to be a success into this initiative, and we are taking the initiative to Gasabo districts, where we're going to develop around 1,600 units in Nyabisindu area of Remera sector around Mahoro Stadium. And this is an initiative that we are implementing in collaboration with the Ministry of Infrastructure and the Ministry of Finance through the Social Security Board, where we secured funds to do this project. And these units are going to be equipped with playgrounds, some recreation spaces, some retail spaces, and some education facilities, health facilities, to ensure that the communities living in the village have access to basic amenities. And it's going to set an example on what is possible. We take this opportunity to call upon the private sector to really join this initiative, because there is a huge potential for rental units in the city of Kigali. But we see that there is a lot of investment within the area of mortgage and loan, but we really want to encourage the private sector to join this housing initiative, where they can get land, helping the local community to get units, and then use the available lands or the surplus land to develop affordable housing.
The city authority has also issued a warning to those building illegally or in unauthorized areas, saying it has started using satellite technology to detect such constructions, and anyone found building without necessary approval will face legal action before the construction progresses too far. And now the technology experts have affirmed it is essential for young people to take the lead in learning about technology in order to compete effectively on the job market and create new employment opportunities. Enola Gladys has more on this.
Young people who have taken the initiative to study technology and use it productively say it has been beneficial to them. They encourage their peers to get involved as well.
My advice to those young ones who don't care about the technology and the AI, the artificial intelligence, is that they can be open-minded and open their eyes and see where the country is moving on. Once we are having the vision of 2050, it means this vision is going to be the vision of technology almost. So that some services they will be given once on the website or technologically. So those young ones, they can see their activity, their jobs in these AI version activities.
Artificial intelligence is the future of the world, and as we have seen that it is even being used in all over the world and everything, even in our own phones using ChatGPT, and we have seen the solution that they are giving. the rapid solution. So artificial intelligence isn't something to be afraid of, but something to embrace and to use. For it will help you to manage your time and help you to see more resolution than on your own.
Prince Ishimwe Mukotsi is a software engineering lecturer in the university. He emphasizes that young people should get involved because that is the direction the world is heading.
Number one, every company, every institution, either public or private, everyone needs to make decisions that are data-based. So if we start this awareness at the grassroots, let's say the secondary level, to teach students how from a sea, let me use the sea of data, from big data, how can they extract insight out of them? How can they build models from those data? How can they build AI from those data? So this is our prime perspective. First of all, technology has had phases. We are in the fourth, transiting to the fifth generation of computer. And the fifth generation, it's all about artificial intelligence. Everything we have to expect is going to be AI. Now, if they are not into that trajectory, they are lost. That's why I call upon all young people, boys and girls, to join us in this journey, so that at the end we'll have a Rwanda with tech experts in AI and big data analytics.
The permanent secretary in the Ministry of ICT and Innovations, Yves Iradukunda, explains that if a sufficient number of young Rwandans acquired tech skills, Rwanda will be able to achieve its Vision 2050 goals as planned.
The future of our country is in good hands. Whether you look at it from technology adoption, the use of technology to innovate, solving our own challenges, finding solutions that are sustainable, leveraging our young human capital, all the things that everyone would wish to see come together has been done so. All of it in the spirit of supporting the young learners to excel, to make an impact, and to advance our objectives as a country.
According to Vision 2050, Rwanda aims to have around 1 million Rwandan coders employed in the technology sector, and educational institutions, including universities, have already begun implementing this strategy.
Thank you, Enora Gladys. Now, in Rusizi district, young people are creating jobs for themselves and others by repurposing discarded materials such as bottles and other waste items. Francine Mukamurangwa operates a small business at Kamembe Market, where she mainly sells bottles and various reusable items collected from across the town. The materials which many consider waste have become valuable commodities, especially among young artists who are turning them into income-generating opportunities. As one of such an example is Jonas Njirishuti, who created a game called Boneza Ball, and the game is already reached 7 schools in Rusizi and Nyamasheke districts, and is also being played by individuals. Jonas says that the game's development relies heavily on the recycled materials for making playgrounds and the equipment. At a time when the world is grappling with the impact of waste on the environment, such initiatives are considered sustainable solutions that also transform lives, replacing what would have been burned or dumped with sources of livelihood. Western Province Governor Jean Bosco Ntibitura is encouraging youth to think innovatively in order to create jobs for themselves. And according to the National Institute of Statistics of Rwanda, despite the notable progress in improving livelihoods over the past 7 years in the Western Province, more effort is still needed in areas like youth employment. Currently, about 29.6% of young people in the province are unemployed. Young people and older ones alike have noted that remembering families that were completely wiped out during the 1994 genocide against the Tutsi is a vital pillar in preventing future atrocities and in building a united society. These reflections were shared during a commemoration event dedicated to honoring the memory of families that were entirely exterminated in the genocide. The event began with a tribute and laying of wreaths at the Chibungo Genocide Memorial, where more than 25,000 bodies are buried. This was followed by a remembrance walk to Chasemakamba Stadium, and along the route, participants were informed about the locations where the genocide crimes were committed and the individuals involved. A discussion was held focusing on how commemorating exterminated families serves as a key strategy in combating genocide denial and trivialization. The history of the genocide's preparation and the significance of remembering such families were also highlighted. Those in attendance said they drew lessons from the event that encouraged them to fight against the recurrence of genocide. And during the event, Ibuka representatives from various districts paid tribute to the lost families and shared the numbers of family members who were killed. Dr. Philbert Gakwenzire, the president of Ibuka, emphasized that remembering these families is part of the broader struggle to eradicate genocide and its ideology. The Ministry of Gender and Family Promotion, Konsli Uwimana, urged parents to raise children with values that reflect the dignity of being Rwandan. In Ngoma district alone, over 700 families that were wiped out during the genocide against the Tutsi in 1994 are being commemorated, while nationwide, more than 15,000 such families have been recorded. Now, Christians from the Anglican Church in St. Etienne Parish have been urged to reject genocide ideologies and instead promote unity. This appeal was made this Saturday during a commemoration event marking the 31st anniversary of the 1994 genocide against the Tutsi. The event began at Kigali Genocide Memorial at Gisozi, where participants were taken through the history of the genocide and paid tribute to over the 250,000 Tutsi victims buried there. The senior pastor at St. Etienne Parish explained that they chose May 31st as their annual commemoration date to honor the church members who were killed during the genocide. He also emphasized the importance of giving value and recognition to the lost. Senior Senator Jean-Pierre Dusingizemungu, who gave a keynote address, reminded the congregation that unity must be rooted in the fundamental principles enshrined in the national constitution, while Pastor Antonio Taisire, representing the Anglican Church at the city level, has stressed that while remembering is essential, the greater purpose is to remind believers of their duty to actively reject genocidal ideologies in all its form. Going forward, May 31st will be observed annually by the Anglican Church at St. Etienne Parish as a day to remember both church members and the clergy who were victims of the genocide against the Tutsi back in 1994. And now, during the 31st commemoration of the genocide against the Tutsi in Amayaga region, 73 bodies were laid to rest in dignity, some newly discovered, others reburied after being exhumed from various locations. For the families of the victims, the act of proper burial is a vital step towards emotional healing and restoring the dignity of their loved ones who were brutally killed. Survivors from the former Muyira commune, now part of Muyira sector and the wider Amayaga area, recounted the brutality of the genocide in this region. They explained how the killings intensified when militias from Bugesera joined local perpetrators to target Tutsi in Amayaga. Despite this painful past, survivors have expressed gratitude for the support they are receiving from the government, which has helped them rebuild their lives. For those who finally found the bodies of their loved ones, being able to bury them with dignity holds profound meaning, and the Minister of State in the Ministry of Health, who joined residents of Muyira during the commemoration, reassured the community of the government's continued commitment to supporting genocide survivors and all Rwandans. He emphasized that efforts to prevent any form of divisionism or discrimination will persist. The 73 bodies buried at the Muyira Genocide Memorial join over 90,000 already laid to rest there.
biggest moments. Laying hooks. Giving away. Making moves. Breakfast with family. Inyanje is always there. Whatever the occasion, whatever the moment, always ask for Inyanje.
Nyiri muto arababwiraga data bati ntabwo wagira umukamo mwinshi utunze inka imwe, ariko nigeze acika intege. Mama akinjira mu bucuruzi hari abamubwiraga bati ntabwo watera imbere udakorera mu iduka rigezweho, ariko ntibyamusubije inyuma, yakoranaga umwete. Njya muri kaminuza hari abanshidikanyagaho bavuga ko nashobora kaminuza naturuka mu muryango wifashije, ariko byaragiye nanditse amateka mashya. Igihe cyo gutera ishema umuryango wanjye kigeze, bamwe bakomeje kumbwira bati ntabwo watera umuryango wawe ibyishimo n'ishema, ariko narabishoboye. Hari abakekaga ko nasigira umurage ukomeye abankomokaho, ariko ubu mfite uruganda rutunganya amata. Banki ya Kigali yabaye umufatanyabikorwa wanjye mu rugendo rwose, inzozi zanjye ziba impamo. Bigereho.
Now, RTV continues to the international news, where the UN refugee agents estimates more than 500,000 Syrians have returned home from neighboring countries since the fall of Bashar al-Assad in December. Roughly 170,000 are from Lebanon, where the government hopes the lifting of US sanctions will help Syria's recovery and facilitate more returns, but many say they have nothing to return to. Al Jazeera has the report.
After more than a decade as a refugee in Lebanon, Najm no longer has a reason to fear returning to Syria since the fall of Bashar al-Assad's regime. But her family is from Homs, and much of the city has been destroyed.
We felt free when his regime fell. They've deprived us of our country for so long, but there's nothing to return to. No homes, no jobs.
For years, millions of Syrians have crossed into neighboring countries and beyond to escape war and persecution. Dismantled tents tell the story of those who are making their way back to a still fragile nation, which struggles to provide basic services. 14-year-old Nouf's family is among those planning to return soon.
I'm so excited to go to Syria. I'm not seeing Syria all my whole life. I live here, I'm going to school here. Syria for me is like a life, new life.
While the United Nations has verified the return of at least 170,000 since the fall of the Assad regime in December, they are still a minority of those living abroad. And those who have gone back have been replaced by a similar number of new arrivals because of recent sectarian violence. In Lebanon, there are more than 1 million Syrians.
A generation of Syrian children grew up here in some of the most difficult conditions. Lebanon has the highest number of refugees per capita in the world and an economy in shambles.
Lebanon has long called for refugees to return to Syria and believe conditions that push them to leave no longer exist. But the United Nations says decreasing aid is affecting its humanitarian operations in Lebanon and Syria.
We're all trying to, in the assistance community, trying to step up inside Syria. Our ability to do so at scale depends on donor funding. So this should really be a message to the donor community.
The return of millions of Syrians could be a long process. The country is still in an early stage of recovery from its civil war, and reconstruction has yet to begin. But many refugees here say they now at least have hope of an end to their life in exile. Zana Khudr, Al Jazeera, Bekaa Valley, Eastern Lebanon.
And now that report brings us to the end of tonight's edition. But of course, before we go, let's have the headlines one more time. The Speaker of the Chamber of Deputies, Honorable Kazarwa Gertrude, joined residents of Kayonza district in community work Umuganda marking the end of May, while the city of Kigali has announced plans to construct over 1,500 housing units in Nyabisin, Remera sector, Gasabo district, as a part of a broader initiative to improve urban settlement. The UN refugee agents estimates more than 500,000 Syrians have returned home from neighboring countries since the fall of Bashar al-Assad in December. Now that was it for RwandaTV News today. My name is William Evans. Good luck and good night.